All right, welcome back to the show. We're doing something a little different today. We're doing spare ribs on a pellet cooker. So we're going to show you how to break these ribs down and get them ready for a pellet grill because it's a completely different style of cooking. Most of the cookers were going charcoal, wood, live fire. So today, we're going to do a special for you today on a pellet grill. Stick around, don't go anywhere. We're doing a pellet grill rib today. So this is a completely different style. And when I'm cooking live fire and I'm cooking on a charcoal grill or a smoker, I take some different steps. So today we're going to take different steps for a pellet grill. Now a pellet grill is not going to render down all this fat. So we're going to cut all this fat off of here. Now I save this if I make sausages, I save this fat. So this is the first thing I start with, is cutting off some of this fat. Some of these lips around here, like this one here, just cut it on out of there. We're going to clean these up for the pellet. Pellets are great. They're great cookers, but you will miss what a fire gives you from kissing the meat of a real flame. And with a pellet cooker, you're basically, if you think about it, you're cooking out of an oven. And that's the way you want to think about it. It's even different from a gas grill, because a gas grill will give you that heat. And you'll even get a flare up from a gas grill. And some of these grills, the pellet grills, they give you a little door on the top to open up, but you've only got this little box on top, and you're trying to sear your meat over this little box, and it just doesn't work that way. But it's all about using the right tool for the right job, and it's about convenience with a pellet grill. Now, pellet grills turn into great smokers because all you got to do is just put the food, set it, forget it, set it at 350, put your probe in there. But I feel you will lose quality. And a pellet grill, in my opinion, doesn't cook anything like a gas grill or a charcoal grill. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this rack almost in half. I'm going to find my bones. This is a real fatty rib. I'm going to start with this first top piece here, and I'm going to separate that. And then we have this piece here. Now, normally I would just tuck this in, but with this grill that we're using today, it's not going to render all that. So I'm going to cut that fat right off of there, and I'll put that to the side, and I'll save that for sausages, which will be another video, sausage video coming up down the road. But let's just get through showing you some different cookers and techniques, and then we'll get a little fancier as we go along. So you see that rib right there? There it is. So this flap on the end, it has no bones here. What I'm gonna do is just cut that right off. I got a little bone in there, just tap your way through that one bone. And we're gonna cook this piece completely separate. This is the piece that usually would burn up on the ends. So this is like one big rib tip, and I'm gonna try to cut off as much fat as possible because this grill is not a great fat renderer. One of the drawbacks with pellet grills, but if you're gonna do this fast, this is my Friday night cook. I got some company coming over. I don't wanna be in the kitchen all night long, and we're gonna do this fast. This little lip right here, this is that little flap that goes on here. I'm gonna cut that off too. Normally I don't, but I'm gonna put this on the pellet grill and I'm gonna cook it by itself, just like that. So these would be kind of my rib tips, and I can cut these up after they come off the grill and make rib tips out of them. So now I have that piece just like that. Okay, so now I'm looking for my bones. I'm gonna follow in, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna cut right before my bone, just like this, and I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna follow my bone, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna cut right before the bone, and then I'm gonna leave it. Let's flip to this side. Now what you want is to cut up to the bone, just to have it like, they're almost like fingers you're creating in here. And you're going right up to the bone with them, with these fingers, but you're stopping right before you get to the bone. And what I usually do is just make a little score right in here, in between, but don't cut through all the way. Do the same thing, the last one, don't cut through. You're just putting a good chop in here, a good little couple of inches down to the bone, but you're not going through. That's gonna allow us to season, get down in here, keep this whole piece of meat together. Second here, and cut this like a finger. See how they're just hanging out like that? That's how you want them. They're gonna cook faster. All that heat's gonna get in between there, just like that. And as you're cooking them, you're gonna see them rise up and separate from each other. And like I said, this little piece of rib right here, again, just score it down against the rib. It'll make it easier to put our seasoning in. And that's the way it's gonna look, just like that. You wouldn't do this on a gas grill or a charcoal grill or a smoker, but we're adjusting for a pellet cook. And this is how I do my ribs on a pellet. Same thing with this. I'm gonna come down this way. Just like that. And I'm gonna cut these ribs right to the big bone that's in here. I'm gonna let them just hang out, just like that. And we're gonna season these all in between. And that gas grill is gonna keep these, I'm sorry, that pellet grill, that's so many cookers, I'm sorry about that. That pellet grill is gonna keep these cooked just like that. So that's it. I'm gonna clean this up. Now look at all that fat over here I got off of here. Normally if you put that, I usually put that on my grill, I let this fat just burn up and render down and get the flavor from the fire. But unfortunately with this grill, you can't do that. So I'm gonna try to get off all this fat that's here. Just get it right out of there and expose the bone. Just come right in there, get it right out of there. We're gonna expose the bone a little bit here and clean up all that fat. It's just gonna wind up for a greasy rib. We're gonna be rolling about 400 degrees today on these. And all that grease is just gonna come right out of there. Hit that grease pan, go right down into the grease catcher and offer us no benefit. So there's no benefit. So why do it? All right, here we go. And I'm gonna save all of my nice fat for my sausage making. That's it. Looks good. Now on this side, you can see all that fat that's in that rib right there. Now you gotta get that out of there because it's not gonna render out. So that's what you want. Get that out of there. And things like this right here, this little piece right here, I'm just gonna score it a little bit. Now that's scored. And like I said, scrape this fat away from the bone. Just like that. And you'll have nothing to render down because we took it all off. All right, that's it. We're all done here. That's how you want to look at it. That's how you want to see it. Just like fingers, you can put your fingers in between here. That's how you want it. So let's get this thing seasoned up and onto the cooker we go. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. We've got these seasoned up. I'm just going to show you real quick what we season these with. We got some herbs, some spices in here. There's very, very little salt in here. Now I put these, I got some oregano, some thyme, onion powder, garlic powder. Very, very little on the salt. We're cooking these on a pellet grill. Now this video is not really designed to show you how to cook ribs. This video is more to show you how to cook on a pellet grill and how to adjust your entire style and seasoning for a pellet grill. I have very little salt in here and I have very little herbs in here and spices. So I'm going very easy on the herbs and spices for this. And I did front and back. And like I said, there's very little salt. When you're salting for a pellet cooker, you can't put too much salt. It's not like cooking live fire. Live fire will burn up that salt. And when live fire hits the meat itself and hits salt, it just kind of like if you're cooking chicken, it just kind of burns up that salt, and it's a completely different cook. So the way you season on a live fire has to be completely different the way you would season on a pellet grill where the fire is not actually hitting the meat. It's almost like you're seasoning for an oven. That's the way you want to think about it. That's the way you want to go about it. You want to season for an oven when you're using a pellet cooker. So with no further ado, let's get this onto the cooker. I'm going to hit this with some spray. Front and back. And we're going to try to get these charred up as much as possible. Not going to get the same char like you would open fire, but these are our go-to ribs for like a Friday night. Like I said, this is my fast rib cook, 45 minutes, and I should be off this cooker. So I don't want to be around all day long. So if you're busy, you got something you got to do, that's what I use my pellet grills for. Fast cooks and reheats. And that's that. So let's go out onto the pellet cooker. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, so this is the pellet grill we're going to be rolling on. This is the Evan Embers pellet grill. It's 100% ceramic, but no further ado, let's show you around. Okay, so this is the Evan Embers ceramic pellet grill. I've had this grill now for about a year, and I cooked on it. Hasn't given me any problems. Complete ceramic. We're going to start with the back here. I'm going to show you these hinges on here. Now, I've owned a lot of pellet grills over the years. I've changed grills like people change shoes. I'm that guy. And one thing that impresses me with this grill is the bracket on the back. It's spring assisted. I've owned a lot of pellet grills. And this one is a ceramic pellet grill. And she's built solid. This is a door on the back that you can empty out all your pellet. So if you have any jams or you want to change out your pellet, you could use this. We're going to go back around to the front of this. It's got a nice caster on it. Grill sits in it, comes with that. This grill retails for about $600 and it's worth every penny of it. Starting with the inside. Now, it's got your little hooks that you can hang stuff on. The grate's cast iron, which I love. This grill cranks up to about 600 degrees. And I'm just going to start to break this grill apart for you. Break it down. Show you the inside of this. This is a strip pan. A lot of people make a mistake. If you guys that own pellet grills, you make a mistake and put aluminum foil on here to keep this clean, but that's your flavor bar. Just like a gas grill would have a flavor bar. If you put aluminum foil on the flavor bars, you won't get that sizzle from all the stuff that drops down there. So right away you're killing 50% of your flavor by putting aluminum foil on top of this piece right here. Because it's basically the grill's flavor bar, and the smoke that you get from the smoke, it should be running on pellet smoke, and it should be running on the natural juices that come down and hit this pan if you're cooking high temperatures to get that nice flare up flavor. This piece comes right out of here, so we're going to put this off to the side. I'm going to show you the inside of this firebox. So again, all ceramic. It's got a grease hole in the bottom of that. Let me just get the light in there so we can see. And I'm going to open up this box for you. And that's your burn pit. Now, for a lot of you guys that buy pellet grills, this is very important. If you need to empty this, it has a handle on the front. If you have a pellet grill and you can't empty this box out without dropping it through here and emptying out your pellet out of that box, if you ever have any jams, this thing just packs up on you, or if something goes wrong, or you just want to clean your grill out before it cooks, instead of getting a vacuum cleaner out and getting this out, just pull this handle and it drops everything out of that chamber in there. And that's a beautiful feature to have, because even if something happens while you're cooking, your power goes out, anything happens, and you need to clean out that burn box in here, that burn chamber, you have to take all your food off this grill. Take everything out, get a spoon, go in here, start spooning stuff out, refeed it, take some pellet, put it back in here, and you just got to go through a bunch of hassle doing that. So I don't buy any pellet grill that doesn't have that feature. I've already been there that route. I've did it, I've done it, I got rid of them, I sold them, and I'm not going back to that. So I stick with that. That's barbecue, Southern style. All right, so we're gonna show you the pellet chamber here. This is the hopper. It holds 10 pounds. It could be a little bit more, but I'm not complaining. This thing burns efficient. It's ceramic. This is its power source right here. I can put probes in here. I got probes 1 and 2. I can set 2 different temperature models on here. Now me, I believe in the right tool for the right job. I wouldn't go putting a brisket on this grill or anything else like that. I put a brisket on here. Came out terrible. Absolutely terrible. I tried it. Gave it a shot. Didn't work out for me. So I use this grill mainly for my fast go-to meals. So we're going to cook the ribs on here. I'm going to show you how to cook them fast. 45 minutes. We're in, we're off with the ribs. It does beautiful Friday nights. That's what I basically use this grill for. And I also use this grill to reheat. This is a great reheater, any kind of barbecue that you have. Because it's ceramic, it keeps that moisture in when you reheat it. So this is my microwave. This is a pan down the bottom. Like I said, when you empty out all your pellet, you can empty out this one too. And they get stuck sometimes in here, but it's okay. But this is all the ash that's here. And the only problems I've ever had with this grill, I had to get a new circuit, what do you call it, the temperature control. I ordered a new one because this dial kept sticking up every time I would hit it and turn the cooker on. It didn't allow me to adjust the temperature, so I had to order from the company a new box. They were pretty good about it. They sent it right out to me, and that was great. And then I didn't have any more problems, so now the box is sitting on the shelf, and I didn't get a chance to use it yet, so I'm going to try to use the heck out of this one, and then I'll use that. Now, the casters on here, it came with this cradle that it sits in, because this thing, believe it or not, is pretty heavy. I would say this thing is weighing in probably close to 300 pounds, and the wheels here move easily, and other than that, I've had no problems with it. And it gets up to about 550. If you crank it on it, it'll get up to about 550 degrees, and I feel that this is the most bang for your buck. Tractor Supply, they sell this thing for like 600 bucks. You're not gonna beat it. Excellent cooker. I give it a thumbs up. So when I am cooking pellet, which I never do, and I'm live fire, but when I'm tired, I'm going towards my pellet grill. So that's about it. Stick around. We'll get her fired up and show you what she can do. Don't go anywhere. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do when we light this is we're gonna lift the hood on it. That brings in the oxygen. And I'm gonna hit the button. Adjust my temperature. Now we're going to be rolling at about 425, and that's when I want to lock this in on. And the reason why I open up my hood on here, take everything off. You want to open up your hood, make sure your burn pot inside is empty, and that's what that little release is for at the bottom here. And that's because it'll leave that burned pellet in there, and you want to make sure that pot inside is getting some fresh pellet. This one I don't have to open the hood up on, but most of your pellets I open up the grill just to get that air in there so your pellets ignite faster. So if you're seeing a lot of smoke with your pellet grills, I'm gonna close this down. If you're seeing a lot of smoke or ignition with your pellet grills, that's because you don't have that hood open, so open up the hood. A lot of people leave trays and stuff like that on there, get all that out of there. And you basically wanna start a pellet grill and ignite it without a bunch of junk in there. So don't do that. So let's get this stabilized and fired up, and we'll meet you right back here to put these ribs on. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. So we're rolling at about 430 right now, 431 it just said, and this is what we're gonna put these on at. Here we go. So I'm gonna put these that side down, the fat side. There's fat all over the place, so I'm gonna put that side down. Just like that. My little pieces here, put those on the side. That's it. So I'm going to put these on. I'm going to brown them up. I'm going to turn them over. I'm going to brown them up for about 15 minutes at this temperature right here. And then after I brown them up for about 15 minutes, we're going to put a rack on. I'm going to put them on the top rack. one on the bottom rack. The ones that are more leaner, these are the bones here, so they're going to take longer to cook. The bigger bones. As the rib goes down, this lean part right here, we're going to put on the top rack so we don't overcook it. And that's how we're going to plan this cook. That's about it. So let's get this thing closed up. Let the computer stabilize it. Sounds odd saying that. Let the computer stabilize it. And we'll see you right back here. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, so we're about 15 minutes in. I'm still rolling at about the temperature there. It says 426. And I'm gonna flip these. Now, see how I told you they would separate? That's what you're looking for. Now, the nice thing about this pellet grill, as things are dripping down in there, if you could hear that sizzle, again, like I said, if you put aluminum foil on top, you could even see it down there. You can hear it, you can see it. If you put aluminum down there to keep that tray clean, you're not gonna get that. Hear that? That's what you want. And also, these cast iron grates, they make a heck of a difference. So if you're going on regular grates, don't do it. Swap them out. Because those grates they're just better for the food. They cook better, they brown better. And you can see how that's all nice and even on this pellet cooker. So we're gonna let this side toast up, and we'll meet you right back here to show you the next step. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, so we're still rolling at about 430, 425. I'm going to show you what we got going on. Those look good. They look great. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to put my rack on. So I'm going to move these off to the side like that. I'm going to get my rack on here. Our rack's on. We're going to get these up, remove them from the heat a little bit. Get them up here. That's what that rack is designed to do. I'm going to still cook these at the same temperature. And then I got my mop sauce. And the same mop sauce that we use on our brisket, I use on everything. You hear that sizzle go away when they go up on the top rack over there? They're away from the fire, and we're still going to cook at this temperature. That's where we're staying at. So we're staying at about 430. We're still staying at that temperature, and we're not going to change anything, and then we're just going to baste as we go along. I'm going to use my mop sauce, baste them up, keep them moist, and that's it. Let me close this back down. All right, there we go. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, so I put these on the top rack. We're about 15 minutes in on the top rack. So what we're going to do now, since I said we were going to put the bigger ones on the bottom, which we are, we're going to put these right there. And this is my mop sauce. My Southern style mop sauce. Over the base. We're going to do the ones on the top. Now, I usually baste once, depending on how this cook is going, and they're looking pretty good. So, I might just do the backs and the fronts right now, and leave them alone. Just let them go. But we'll figure it out. I want to see how they kind of do. If they look tender or not, and we'll go from there. We'll let them roll. You can see that mop sauce with that nice lemon in there. This is how I do my fast ribs. All right. This little one here is going to come off soon. And maybe my doggies might get a treat. I'm gonna take him in with me because he's done. And then we got this other little one over here. Those are gonna be our little rib tips. I'm gonna turn this back over. I'm gonna baste him. He's looking pretty good. Turn him back over. And just put him over just like that. All right, these guys, I know my hot spot's on this cooker. My hot spot's that way, so I'm gonna take my ribs, put that big bone part on the side where the hot spot is. And we're gonna close down. And that's it. We'll come back. We'll let these roll. I'm probably not going to baste them anymore. And that's it. We're not going to change that temperature. We're going to let them roll right through, and we're going to cook them at that 4. I got the hood open now, but they're basically cooking at that 430 temperature. And that's it. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right. We are rolling at the same temperature. So we're rolling at about 430. 427 it says on the Richter, and I'm just going to show you these guys. Look at those. I'm going to pull these. We're 50 minutes in. I went a little bit over. I said it was going to be 45, but we're at 50. Even if it takes an hour to do ribs on a pellet cooker at an hour. Just want to take a look at those. Look at that. I don't want to get too much heat on my camera, so we're going to use a little zoom. And I just want you to take a look at how these ribs came out. They came out beautiful. All right, we're going to meet you inside. We're going to get these ribs off the cooker, and onto the chopping block they go. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, and the time has come, and now we are on the chopping block. So these ribs are off. And we're gonna show you what we got. Let's open this up. I'm gonna put these onto the chopping block. Now I let these rest. I brought them in. I let them rest for about 10 minutes. Now we're gonna get into them. So these are our rib pieces. There we go. Thought those look nice. Look great for a pellet grill. And those are my fast pellet grill ribs. I'm going to show you how to get into this. Just cut between the fingers. Look at that. They just come right down. Nice and easy. See that? Nice and easy. And we're just going to cut these bones. You could just tap a little bit if they don't get through. And we're just going to tap right between the bones. And look at that. For pellet ribs, they look great. So let's do this. Let's cut up these. Now, I did this. These are rib tips. So for the end pieces here like this, you could just come down and just use these as rib tips. Now there's a little rib right there. You can hold on to that. But these guys here, just rib tip them. That's it. Now you got little rib tips there. Perfect little bites. Put these back over here. All right. We'll put some of these ribs back to give you some room. All right, and now we got this rib. So the first thing we'll do is we'll come through this side like this. Just cut them right off. See that? And you got this piece left. Come in there, and we're done. That's it. We did most of the cutting at the beginning of this. And this piece right here, what I usually do is I'll usually eat the whole thing. I don't have my good knife with me now, but let's chop this off like this. We'll go this way. And I can kind of tap through that. And then come down and slice this piece off the back. And that's my rib tip. Just like that. Just slice the meat right off of there. Come down and get the meat off of that. just like that. And now I have nice rib tips that I can put to the side. And this little piece left right here, somebody could just gnaw on that. And that's a good little bone to gnaw on. All right. So let's get our Pitmaster taste here. I'm gonna choose this one and get a little Pitmaster taste here. Let's give that a bite. Pretty good, fast go-to rib for a pellet grill. You can see the way that just pulls away. Right to the bone, clean. Look at that. And you can pull the meat right off of there. Let's show you this piece. You can pull the meat right off of here. Right down to the bone. So, for a fast rib for a Friday night, you can't go wrong. It's a good cook. So those are fast pellet ribs. Got some sauce inside, you can stick them in there. I don't have any sauce in my ribs, but they're tender and they're excellent. Let's plate this up. We'll see you right back here. Stick around. All right, there it is, pellet grill ribs. And if you like this video and what you saw today, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that little bell and get these videos first. And I just want to give you guys a big thanks to the guys that signed up with this channel and subscribed to my channel and have faith in a brand new channel. So hats off to you guys. I thank you very much. I do appreciate you, all the love and support that you guys have shown me. It's not forgotten or overlooked. Again, thank you so much, and until next time, I gotta get that little Pitmaster's taste there.